Let's get into some things of the things, child. We got some stuff to talk about today, honey. We got some stuff to talk about. Hit that like button if you are new here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We have a great time over here. You meant what you said when you said it. Really be expected, because I'll be understanding y'all sometimes. And when y'all know when I say y'all, you know I ain't talking about y'all. You know I'm talking about y'all. Makes me that all these people that got something to say have been actively involved in the political process in their world. I don't believe it. You ain't gonna convince me. I know y'all love me. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody is doing well. So listen, I know y'all don't really give a daggone about nothing else going on in celebrity news other than Cassie and Diddy, okay? Today is the day we have been waiting on for what, 2 years, maybe a year and a half, however long it's been. Cassie is finally speaking, right? We have been waiting for this since that bombshell lawsuit dropped. It was about 2 years ago, right? Or a year and a half. I know it was in November. So it was November of 2023, right? Because Diddy was arrested last August, September. So yeah, it's been a year and a half that we have been waiting for this. So we're going to get into it. First of all, let me say hi to everybody as you guys are coming in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Hey, Don Don, what's up, boo? We're going to get to Don Don closing the door in a few minutes. And shout out to Don Don, you done got yourselves in some hot water overnight, huh? Poor Don Don. He said, I'll just sit over here minding my business. How I get in this. But I want to give a shout out to all of the content creators who are either in New York and giving us information as fast and as accurately as they can. And I want to give a shout out to the content creators that are able to come live and go through the tweets as they come through. Baby, I done had Pam in my ear all day because y'all know I was at work and I was supposed to be working. But between me, you, and that wall over there, I didn't get a lot of work done today. I'm just going to call it thing a thing. Listen, we are halfway through fourth quarter. Either you done passed or you done failed. So I had Pam. Look, I was like the kids today. I had my earbud in. My hair was covering my ear, and I had Pam in my ear all day long. If I'm gonna call a thing, I had Pam in my ear all day long. Not let them babies play the Hamilton. Listen. Ooh, them kids in that Hamilton. They get on my nerves with that. Sidebar, if you follow me on TikTok, you know I have been fighting with my kids in Hamilton all year long. So here's the thing. It's one class in particular. It's not all my classes. It's one class that absolutely loves Hamilton. And that class has most of my performing arts students in it. They're in our performing arts program at my school. And they love Hamilton. They know all the words. My gosh, they know all the words. So at the beginning of the year, like when my kids have, I know the people who just want to hear about Diddy don't care about this. I'm gonna make it quick. So at the beginning of the year, my kids who like when we get to independent work time, I play music. Sometimes I play jazz. Sometimes I play, whatever, white noise. Sometimes I take requests, but of course they have to be appropriate requests. So this particular class is old school. Like when I let them make requests, they be requesting like Whitney Houston and Jasmine Sullivan and Lauryn Hill and Luther Vandross. You know what I mean? They old school. So somehow one day they said something about Hamilton. Baby, it's been on and popping ever since. Anyway, so there's the Hamilton story. So every time I'm like, do we have a request? Now it's Hamilton. And I'm like, y'all won't listen to nothing? SWV, y'all don't want nothing? Just Hamilton every time we have open. Anyway, let's get to Diddy. Because like I said, I know y'all are like, we don't care about that. Get to Diddy. So let's get to Diddy. Crystal says too late now. Child. Yes, Pam is doing the Lord's work. So let me say this. Y'all know Pam is my friend in real life. I love Pam, okay? Pam, that's my girl. If you can, y'all just make sure that when y'all are over there, well, everybody can hit a like. Can y'all please make sure y'all are hitting that like button? And if you can make a donation, please do. Same thing for if you guys are dropping into these content creators chats that are actually in New York. If y'all can drop a $5, $10 super chat. Listen, New York is not cheap. They're staying in hotels. They traveled. They're buying food every day. It's not cheap. New York is not cheap. So if you can see it in your pocketbook, because I understand that all of us ain't there today. I got it. But if y'all can please find it in y'all's pocketbook to drop them 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay. Now let's get into it. So we're going to do a combination of things today. I'm going to read y'all the article from Rolling Stone. Yes. And please order your popcorn from me. I'm doing a fundraiser for my Eastern Star chapter. So if y'all want some popcorn, the fundraiser will be running until Thursday. I'm number 2. I'm in second place for raise the most money. So if we're trying to raise $5,000. $2,000. So that means we have to sell $4,000 worth of popcorn. If you've ever done a double good fundraiser before, we get 50% of the proceeds. So we are at like 1,000. So we got 3 more thousand to go in the next couple of days. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to read through this Rolling Stone article and I'm going to go through some of the tweets. And please, 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 for Pam. Okay, I'll send it to Pam. Thank you, Hibiscus Rose. I'm going to send it to Pam. I'll cash app her when I get off of here. Thank you, Jay Wash, for being a member for 23 months and for telling the people to get their popcorn. And thank you, Nikki, as well, for being a member for thank you, Hibiscus Rose, for being a member for 5 months. And thank you, Nikki, for telling the people to get their popcorn. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of y'all. And again, if you guys have been watching the other content creators, feel free to drop stuff in the chat. Keep it appropriate. I know that this trial is getting real sticky, icky, but please keep it appropriate. Or as appropriately as you can write it, and we'll talk about it as we go through. If I'm forgetting something, or if I'm not hitting on something that you want me to address, discuss, whatever, go on and put it in the chat. I appreciate it. Mods, just make sure people are being as appropriately as you can, because sometimes not. Wait a minute, hold on. My husband. Hold on, what did it say? My husband and his cousins are Hamilton heads too. Any chance they get to terrorize me with singing, they do. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You okay, boo? El Teddy, you fine, baby. You are fine. We didn't already listen. I've been just, I just been running my mouth so we can get into it. What's up, Angela? So El Teddy has let class out, and the pupils are on their way over to join the tribe. So let's get into this Rolling Stone article. I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see the article as I'm reading through it. Angela said that the upstairs lounge is open. There's Pam's channel. Thank you, Don Don. If you are not subscribed to Pam the Law Intellect, please make sure y'all go over there and subscribe. Tell her that I sent you. Say, Really B said, check you out. Please do. And again, if you have it in your bank account, I know everybody doesn't, and that's fine. But if you have it in your bank account, I know Mims is out there. My girl Lady T is out there. I know Armand is out there. Dennis is out there. Infamous Sylvia. And anybody else that I just don't know who they are. And I don't have no beef with no YouTubers, whether people like them or don't like them. Support who you want to support. All I'm saying is wherever you're getting your information from, if it's somebody that has boots on the ground, just consider sending them a few dollars. That's all. It's expensive. These things are not cheap, y'all. And they are there. I know Mims, I think, is planning to stay at least through this week, I believe. So that's, hotel room, transportation, food. That's a lot. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me close that out. All right. Let me take that down. Shoot, just them 2 days that I went up to Whitehead's trial when me and Pam went, The first time we got our own room, because the first time her husband and her daughter were with her, so I got my own room. The second time we split a room because it was just me and her. But between the Uber to and from, the hotel room, food, yeah, it's not cheap. And that was only for 2 days. And I probably spent a couple of $100 just for 2 days between my own transport. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all get the point. I don't need to dwell on that. I just see y'all saying stuff in the comments. Okay. So let's read through this Rolling Stone article. And if I have time, I'll drop the link if anybody wants to come up and just get their 2 cents. Again, we're going to keep it appropriate. We're going to keep it appropriate. But if anybody wants to come up and get their 2 cents. So let's get into it. So this is coming from Rolling Stone. I found Rolling Stone articles in the past to be very detailed. So that's why I'm here. So this is a picture of Cassie. She look high in that picture right there, don't she? Don't she look high? Right there? She look high in that picture. All right, let's read through it. So, a year and a half after Cassie Ventura filed her explosive lawsuit against ex-boyfriend Sean Diddy Combs, the R&B singer took to the stand Tuesday in front of a packed courtroom to testify against the man she claimed emotionally, physically, and sexually abused her for more than a decade. Ventura's court appearance marks the first time she and Combs have seen each other in person since their 2018 breakup. She arrived in court wearing a long brown dress with brown suede heels, and when she walked in, Combs turned and stared at her. Now, do y'all think he was staring at her menacingly, or do you think he was staring at her like, damn, you know, she's so beautiful? Or do you think he was staring at her like, damn, I should have cut the check and I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be somewhere in the south of France taking my twin daughters on a graduation trip. Like, what y'all think the stare was about? Do you think it was like this menacing B? You know what I'm saying? B, you did this to me? Or do you think it was, damn, I should have just cut the check? Because I'm sure he beats himself in the head every night for not just cutting the damn check. Because when she wrote her book and she said, hey, boo, hey, sir, hey, sir, I done wrote a book telling everybody everything that happened while we were together. You could buy it, because what she did was she told him he could buy the book from her. She told him, you can buy the book. She didn't word it as you can pay. You know, it was, you could buy the book and then you can do whatever you want to do with it. Or I'm going to go on and find a publisher. He should have said, let me buy that damn book for you. And whatever she was asking for that book, he has probably already either lost or paid 3 times that amount between lawyers' fees and what he has lost in his own personal endorsements and all of that. Child. All right, let's go. I'm going to try to read because I know y'all going to be like, you stopping too much. You doing too much. Child, the tribe know what it is over here. Okay. Ventura is considered the key witness in the Southern District of New York's criminal case, referred to in the charging indictment as Victim 1. Combs has pled not guilty to 5 felony counts against him. On the stand, Ventura's voice was quiet, but her demeanor confident. She chose her words carefully as she detailed what she called frequent instances of physical abuse. He would smash me in my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head if I were down, she said of Combs. Ventura also described in great detail the nature of the F-offs. Y'all, we know what F-offs are. I'm not going to keep saying certain words. Y'all know what it is. These were actual encounters that Combs allegedly orchestrated, in which could last anywhere from 36 hours to 4 days. Ventura said that she was 22 years old when she had her first F-off, adding, eventually it became a job for me. She called the encounters a very choreographed experience, testifying that there would sometimes be blood in the sheets because Combs would force her to have sex while she was ministrating. I'm going to pause for a second. She said, and I was watching, like I said, I was listening to Pam. When she testified, she said eventually it became a job, and they asked her how long was the longest F-off party, and she said 4 days. She said either I was at a party or I was recovering from a party. Y'all, I'm gonna keep reading. On multiple, wait a minute. On multiple occasions, Ventura testified that both Combs and a male ex-worker would urinate on her and in her mouth against her will. She says it was obvious that she didn't want it based on her facial expressions. Now, I'm gonna keep reading. Ventura further testified that she felt responsible to make Combs happy and didn't know how to refuse the F-offs. I didn't feel like I had much of a choice. I didn't know what no could look like, she said. Asked by prosecutors why she went along with it, she said the F-offs were where she felt she was winning his affection and could be rewarded with one-on-one time. When you are really in love with someone, you don't want to disappoint them, she testified. Still, Ventura broke down in tears as she testified that the F-offs made her feel disgusting and humiliated. My self-worth took a hit, she said at one point. The freak-offs were all I was good for to him. She would often stay awake for days at a time. She testified per Combs' orders of the copious amount of drugs she said Combs made her take, including cocaine, mushrooms, ecstasy, and ketamine. Ventura said they were disassociative and numbing. I couldn't imagine myself doing all of that without having some sort of buffer or just a way to not feel it, what it really was, she said, per reports. Prosecutors said asked Ventura to detail the beginning of her relationship with Combs. She said she first met him around 2005 when she was 19 years old, describing her view of him at the time as the larger-than-life entrepreneur musician. She said they had sex for the first time 2 years later during a trip to Miami, not long after her 21st birthday. Ventura said Combs also gave her ecstasy during that trip, and the jury was shown a photo of the pair wearing a robe and sunglasses with Combs draped around her. Of Combs, Ventura said, Sean is a very polarizing person. He's also very charming. It can be hard to decide what you need when he's telling you his needs. After the Miami trip, she said she became a little shadow to Sean. Ventura described herself as being naive and young at the beginning of their relationship, acknowledging that she was enamored with him at first until things started to turn. Ventura said Combs' mood would swing wildly, making the wrong face. The next thing I knew, I was getting hit in the face, she testified. She said she began to experience a different side of him, the abusive side, but there was still love there. Ventura went on to describe the control Combs wielded over her life. He kept tabs on her whereabouts and sent staffers out to look for her, decided what she wore and where she lived, and often gave her what she described as types of busy work, random tasks that kept her occupied when she wasn't with him. Hold on. He had control over what I did every minute of the day, she added. That included constant comments about her appearance, including nails, hair, wardrobe, and discussions about breast implants. As for Combs' control over her music career, Ventura said she recorded hundreds of songs, many of which didn't see the light of day, she added. My career was stifled. The jury was shown emails between Ventura and Combs in which Ventura refers to Combs as Pop Pop. She testified that Combs chose that nickname because it's what she called her grandfather. Per media reports, I thought it was weird, she testified. So wait a minute, he wanted you to call him the same thing you called your granddaddy? Wow. Okay, we're gonna keep reading because I could keep stopping, but I know that I'm gonna just read through it and then we're gonna talk. I'm gonna just read through. This is what happened today during her testimony. Okay. Before her testimony, Combs' attorney, Mark, we're gonna call him Mark because I'm gonna keep messing up his last name, was worried that jurors will be biased against his client if they saw Ventura, who is 8.5 months pregnant, walking into the courtroom. On Monday, he asked U.S. District Judge if Ventura could already be sitting in the witness box when the jurors entered. Ventura eventually walked into the courtroom and with the jury present. He argued that he felt like it was prejudicial, which, listen, I ain't mad at him for arguing that. We had that conversation on Monday. Didn't we talk about that on Monday about Cassie coming in there? Or I think it was Sunday. But then we had that conversation about Cassie coming in there looking all pregnant and stuff. I said that the other day, so I understand why he did that. Okay. Ventura is the third witness to testify in the high-profile trial that's expected to last 8 weeks. On Monday, jurors heard from Israel Flores, a former security manager who worked at the since-shuttered Intercontinental Hotel. Flores testified he was present in the media. Okay, we talked about him yesterday. Hold on. Let me see if there's anything else about Cassie. If not, we're going to go to some of the tweets that I did capture today. Hold on. Because Cassie said a whole lot more than that. Hold on. Okay. I don't think this might get into more of it. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna read the last part. We talked about this yesterday, but I'm gonna read it in the article. Phillips, who we know testified yesterday. So this is part of what he testified to yesterday. Although initially excited by being involved with people with such notoriety, Phillips testified that his enthusiasm waned the first time he claimed to witness Combs attack Ventura during an F-off. Combs called for Ventura to come into the bedroom, but when she didn't immediately comply, Phillips claims that Combs threw a liquor bottle in her direction, with the bottle smashing into the wall. Combs then allegedly dragged a screaming Ventura by the hair back into the room, where he heard sounds of slapping and Ventura apologizing, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." After that incident, Phillips said he had trouble performing sexually during the F-offs with Ventura and Combs. During one moment, they were left alone. Okay, we talked about that, where he told her that she could leave and he felt like she was in danger. When Ventura first met a 37-year-old Combs in 2005, she was an aspiring 19-year-old singer excited to sign a record deal with Bad Boy. By the time she turned 21, Combs had begun to romantically pursue her, culminating with an alleged forced kiss in the bathroom the night of her 21st birthday. Eventually, prosecutors said Combs forced Ventura to engage in sex with male escorts while he watched and masturbated. If she refused, prosecutors alleged that Combs would beat her and regularly supply her with drugs to keep her awake and compliant. Ventura claimed she would have to camp out in hotels and Combs' mansion until the bruising from physical beatings had faded. When Ventura said she tried to escape Combs, his team kept... Okay, this is what we already know. All right. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the other stuff that came up in her testimony today, because that's the end of the article. So some of the other things that came up in the testimony today, she talked about how Diddy would take her phone, or he would have people, his assistants, come and take her phone. That was a control tactic as well. There was testimony. I'm gonna read some of the tweets that I have. Thank you for the donations. Thank you, Star, for the donation. Somebody told her she can't eat the popcorn. Where's Lorianne Gibson? I don't know. I saw Lorianne Gibson doing TikToks with the Combs, with the Combs girls a few months ago. So she's around. Now I don't know in what capacity she's around, but she's around, honey. Now, the other thing that's going on, you guys, is that the media is asking for access to these videos, these videos of the F-offs. So the judge is going to make a determination about whether the media is going to get a copy of it. Let me read y'all a little bit what this is what the Shade Room's saying. The judge says he's inclined to grant a request by media organizations to view what a defense lawyer describes as pornographic videos that will be shown to the jury as evidence in the case. But he's given the parties another day to make submissions on the matter. The judge says he needs to balance the privacy issues of the witnesses and defendant with the rights of the public to know what's happening during the trial. Y'all. During a discussion about whether sexually explicit videos should be available for viewing by members of the media, attorney Robert Ballin told the judge on behalf of media outlets that news organizations weren't interested in reporting something so salacious and were not seeking copies of the exhibits. He also suggested as an alternative that a group of pool reporters could be allowed to view the exhibits. I don't know what made him think people don't want. Now, I don't want the video. Let's be clear. But I don't know what make him think that people don't want to get their hands on that video. You a lie, and the truth ain't in you. All right. All right. Let's look at. Can we just give it a clap for really be between reading pamphlets? Thank you. Thank you, Laura Bishop. Thank you, boo. So these are some of the tweets from today. And shout out to Inner City Press because everybody seems to be following Inner City Press. And he is on Blue Sky. So I found him on Blue Sky. So shout out to him. Although I think he gives a more detail over on Twitter. But he is on Blue Sky. And he's on Substack as well. So AUSA, I'm reading y'all what's the conversation. So the AUSA asked the question, what would happen after the escort finished on you? Now this, I think, what's up? Hey, T-Lines, were you there today, boo? This I think was probably one of the most salacious things that came out today. So the AUSA called and said, what would happen after the escort finished on you? And when they say finished on you, they mean released. You know, when a man is finished and a man releases, that's what they're talking about. Ventura said Sean would want to put it on his body in the next room. Ventura, so the AUSA asked, did you do that? Ventura said, I did. The AUSA said, where? Ventura said, usually on his nipples. AUSA said, did you want to do that? Ventura said, no. Now listen. Right, like it's a lotion or something. And on his nipples? So did that get him aroused? I don't know. So the AUSA said, how did you feel? Ventura said, I was an object being heavily objectified by men. Sometimes he will watch by FaceTime. The AUSA said, were some sessions recorded on your devices? Ventura said, because they were there. AUSA, if you saw them on your device, what would you do? Ventura said, I would delete them. AUSA said, why? Ventura said, they were disgusting. I never wanted anyone to see them. AUSA said, were Sean's devices used sometimes? She said, yes, I asked him to delete them. The AUSA asked, did he? She said, I don't know. So that was a set of a back and forth. Here's another one. AUSA asked, I've handed up GXB. Do you recognize it? Ventura said, yes, I reviewed this drive. It has communication and documents pertaining to Mr. Combs. AUSA said, did you review the photos on it? Ventura said, yes. AUSA said, what is this photo? Ventura said, it's me in 2004 with Kerry Morgan. When did you sign with Bad Boy Records? She says in 2006, it was a 10-album deal. Did you release any after 2006? Ventura said, no. Who's in the photo? Ventura said, Kim Porter. She was Sean's ex from before me and the mother of his children. Baby before, during, and after. But moving right along. AUSA says, where did you celebrate your birthday in this photo? Ventura says, Las Vegas. Kerry Morgan was there too. We were out on his patio on my 21st birthday at the VMAs. That's when allegedly the first time he kissed her was at the VMAs. Was after her 21st birthday. What happened then? She said, Sean kissed me in the bathroom. I ran back to my hotel and told Kerry. Remember, Kerry was her boyfriend at the time, right? Yeah. AUSA says, when you got back to New York, Ventura, I'd visit him in the Trump Hotel in Columbus Circle. His apartment was being renovated. Remember, I told y'all the Trump Hotel was all up and through here, but okay. When were you going with your music career? Ventura trying to come up with the concept. Sean called all of the shots. AUSA, what is the age difference between you and Sean? Ventura said 17 years. How did you feel when Sean invited you to hotels? She said, nervous, excitement. We're going to talk about music. He introduced me to oral sex. I didn't understand it. Now, I don't know what she meant by I didn't understand it. I don't know what there's to understand about oral sex. And I'm not judging because I know everybody in their sex life is their business. I'm not judging. I didn't know. I don't know what there was to. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to keep reading some of these tweets. Okay. And then this goes on to talk about, did you visit Sean in Miami? Yes, I went with Carrie Morgan and Dallas Austin. What did you and Sean do together? She said sexual intercourse. He gave me blue dolphin ecstasy on the boat. He had you once before taking ecstasy unintentionally. She said yes. And he says, how did you take ecstasy unintentionally? Ventura said it was in the Gatorade. When you took it intentionally with Sean, how did it feel? Ventura said, like rolling. At the time, what did you think? And she said that we were spending a lot of time together. I'm 38 and only like missionary. Oh, no. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Ventura said, I thought we were monogamous. AUSA said, was it made public? No, I was his artist, also his family, his children. Who was linked to him publicly? She said, Kim Porter. AUSA said, how did Sean treat you at the time? She said, we had fun. Here's another one. Cassie said Diddy asked her to get into an inflatable pool filled with baby oil. So, I mean, I'm sorry. That was just my natural response. I apologize. I don't want to make nobody feel no kind of way, baby. Y'all do what y'all do. If you like it and the other person like it, I love it. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make nobody feel no kind of way. I promise you I wasn't. It's the really be faces she's making that send to me. Okay, I'm gonna read y'all a little bit of from people, and then I'll drop the link and let y'all and see what if anybody wants to add anything to it. So we read through people yesterday. So people, hold on. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. Why is it not opening up? Hold on. Maybe I just didn't do it right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Cassie, 11 years, star witness, high profile, Diddy, traffic, blah, blah, blah. Me and you, singer. I just want to make sure we're not saying the same thing we didn't already say it 50 times. Who is Cassie? Expected to, okay, blah, blah. When assistant U.S. attorney said, okay. Okay, I don't want to go back over the urine again. We've talked about that. Okay. Okay, it goes into the details about when he asked her about that experience. I think we got it. It was nasty. She didn't want it. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me give y'all my 2 cents, and then I'll drop the link if anybody wants to come up. T Lounge, if you want to come up, by all means, I'm gonna drop the link now. If T Lounge wants to come up, I know you're reviewing it on your channel as well, so you may want to save it for your channel, and I respect that. But if you want to come up, here is oh Lord, child. Sorry. Let me put the link in here. What up, JB Boo? I keep doing the wrong thing. Okay. Again, this link right now is just for the T Lounge. I will open up the panel in a few minutes after I kind of get out my thoughts and feelings. Yes, Tracy, I have some thoughts and feelings. Okay. After I get out my thoughts and feelings, I'll drop the link for anybody who wants to come up. I know Tracy's got some thoughts and feelings, but right now, child, why is this up here? Right now, this is for the T Lounge if she wants to come up. And again, she has her own YouTube channel, and she is giving her breakdown on her channel, and I respect that. So if you want to just tell everybody to come over to your channel and tell us what time to be there, that's fine too, baby. I respect it. So let me say this. Can we just have an honest conversation right now? I want to just have a real honest conversation right now. Here's what I don't like about people. Okay, here comes the tea lounge. I'm gonna let her say her piece, and then I'm gonna give my breakdown. Hey, boo.
Hey, how you doing? I'm literally trying to get my thumbnail together right now, so I will be going live.
No problem.
Probably after you finish, right? But
okay, no problem. See, my mods dropped the link for the tea lounge, and baby, once you have it set up, let me know. I'll set up the redirect so that when I in my video, my chat will come over there to you. So let me know when you set up the thumbnail.
I will. So basically where I'm at today, and I took notes and I'll kind of do it on my live, but I'm at the point where I'm like, is this a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the bullshit? Because the way, like it, I would have to, let me just say this, right? The courtroom, all I saw was flabbergasted on reporters' faces, on Gloria Allred's face, all sorts of shenanigans, right? So I will go into detail, what I saw, what I was witnessing and everything like that. So let me drop down, trying to get the thumbnail together and get the link. Now, how would you do the redirect? I just set up the link, and
once you set up the link, I can just do it from here. I just need you to already have it scheduled, and I can go in and find it and just connect with it. It'll just connect my chat. So as soon as I end my live, it'll just automatically zap whoever's in my live over there. And if they want to stay, so that'll just send my crowd over there to you. And for the people who want to stay, they stay. And if they don't want to stay, they can always click off. It doesn't make them stay, but it'll, so they don't have to come look for your channel and all that good stuff. Okay. And let me say this, y'all. Listen, Tea Lounge lives in New York, and she is going down there. So again, if y'all do head over there, feel free to give her 10, 20, 30 if your pocketbooks can handle it. She's spending, transportation money, lunch money, and all that other stuff. So if y'all get over there and y'all enjoy it, do 3 things for me. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe if y'all are entertained. If y'all are enjoying the information. And if you have a few dollars, everybody don't have it, but if you got a few dollars, go on and send her a few, please, and thank you. I appreciate that. What up, Dev? Now, Dev, I was talking about your wife earlier. I was telling people that your wife is doing the Lord work over there earlier when she was on live for about 4 hours today, breaking it down.
Am I waiting outside? The line is not as long as you all would think. I would wonder going to be for like the final the judging, like the verdict is what I'm trying to say. I wonder what that day is going to be like, but for the most part it's not as many people as you would think, honestly. I thought
really okay, because it looked like that line was long yesterday morning when you and Mims was out there.
Yesterday was really long. Yesterday was pretty long because I think it was the opening day. But today I thought, especially because Cassie was going to be
I thought it would be packed today.
I thought it was going to be packed, but it's really just mainly media, whether it's traditional or virtual, mainly that. Okay. All right. So let me go because I gotta and I'll be in the chat, okay?
Okay, thanks for coming through. And again, you guys, y'all make sure y'all head over there. And she was in the courtroom, and y'all can hear what she has to say because she said that she's starting to feel like it's a plan set up by Todd. So I don't know what Todd did, but
I'll tell you who Todd is and what I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure out what's going on and what we've been kind of trying to speculate on.
We're gonna hear what Todd got going on, honey. We're gonna hear what Todd have going on. Not what was Jaguar Wright doing there. I was surprised Jaguar Wright was arrested.
I have not seen her.
She wasn't arrested when she showed up, because I mean that's my question too, girl. What you doing here? Right. And I'm surprised they didn't have the people waiting for with the bracelets for her.
I've seen a lot of people. I have not seen Jaguar Wright anywhere.
But she was there yesterday.
I keep hearing that she was there, but I haven't seen her. Not to say that I've seen everybody that's been there. Of course not.
Yeah, no, she was. Yeah, she was front row center yesterday, honey. Yes, honey. So I don't know.
And then I didn't peep that it was her. I don't know, but anyway, I'll talk with you all soon. Thank you so much, really.
Okay, thanks, T Lounge. Thank you, boo. All right, peace. All right, y'all. So let me finish giving y'all my 2 cents, and then I'll drop the link for whoever wants to come up. Remember, you do not have to show your face. However, I do need to verify backstage that you are who you say you are, and we're going to be respectful. Please try to be creative. I know that this subject matter is already a explosive subject matter, but let's try to be respectful. I mean, not respectful isn't the word I'm looking for. Let's try to be careful in our wording. Let's try to do that for me, please, and thank you. So with that being said, let me be honest. Here's where my frustration comes in. I was listening to Pam earlier, and what Pam said is 2 things that I thought was interesting. One was when Pam was saying that the one thing I appreciate is that Diddy's attorneys are basically like, listen, our client is an SOB. Our client, yes, he put his hands on this woman. Yes, he was on drugs. Yes, they engaged in an alternative lifestyle, which is the wording they're using, right? She said, but at the end of the day, that's not what he charged with. He's not charged with domestic violence. He's not charged with being an SOB. He's charged with all these other things that we are saying he is not guilty of. So I thought that was a very smart argument to start off by saying, yeah, I know he's not a likable guy. And you're going to hear some stuff that's going to make you think he's not a likable guy. And if they were charging him with domestic violence, you got us. He did it. I thought that was pretty smart, because at the end of the day, you can't outrun what they know we're going to see if I were on the jury, right? Number 2, Pam said something else. She said, everybody thinks that the prosecution is doing a good job until the defense gets up. Diddy got 5,000 lawyers, and he's probably paying about 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 million dollars. Okay. Sunny Halston said she used to work as an ADA in New York, and she's feeling the same way. Yeah. So for that, I 100% I understood that, right? I was feeling it. I understood it. I was feeling it. Okay. Now, on the flip side, I also thought when you listen to Cassie give her testimony, from what I was listening to earlier today with Pam, Cassie was being very honest and say, listen, yes, I did these things because I knew if I didn't do them, he was going to do them with somebody else. And I didn't want him to do that. However, there came a time when I didn't want to do it anymore. And I was not given the choice to stop. I thought that was a really smart thing, because the reality is, and this is what, if I'm being honest, this is what pisses me off about people. And if I'm being more honest, this is what pisses me off about women. A lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women always want to act like they're so much more above the reality that this could be anybody if being put in the right situation with the right manipulator under the right circumstances. And I just believe that to be true. I know we all like to think we are Billy Badass. And I know we all like to think that'll never be me. Hell nah, that'll never be me. I don't know what the hell they talking about. I would never do that. I know we all like to feel that way. But the reality of the situation is, for the majority of us, not everybody, because there's exceptions to every rule, but for the majority of us, that's just not the case. And I want all of y'all especially my women, to go back and think back on when you were 19 years old. What you knew at 19 versus what you know now. The experiences you had at 19 versus the experiences that you have now. And you tell me that if a millionaire who had the world at his feet, who had power, who had celebrity, who had whatever it was that you thought you wanted and needed because you were an aspiring singer, said, hey, here's what I got for you. I'm just saying, listen, I see what Melly said, speak for yourself, because no, ma'am. Again, I can't tell nobody. I'm telling you, that's what frustrates me when I feel like people always say but it won't be. You know what I compare it to? I compare it to when I'm trying to teach my students about slavery and how these kids who were born 15 years ago tell me what they wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been me. Hell nah. I had somebody telling me today, we were talking about Emmett Till, and they were telling me today how when the white man came to get them, they would have pulled their blicky out. I said, your what? You would have pulled your what out? Yeah, I'd have pulled my blicky out and we'd have slid. And I would have been out all night till I found them white men. Oh, okay. All right, then. I said, you don't think they went out looking for that boy? Like, you don't think they went out looking for Emmett Till? Like, you know what I'm saying? I said, and what do you think? I said, if they kidnapped a 14-year-old boy out of his bed in the middle of the night without any thought of any repercussions, what you think they would have done to a group of grown-ass black men coming to look for them? What you think would have happened? So, to me, and again, I can't tell anybody else their experience. Please understand that. But I'm saying for me, I find it to be disingenuous for most people. I can't say everybody. I find it to be disingenuous for most people to say at 19 years old, they would not have found themselves in a similar, I'm not saying the exact same situation, I'm saying a similar situation, and to feel like they don't have any compassion or empathy. You see what I'm saying? I read a book about Emmett Till. They came into the uncle's house with loaded weapons. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't knock on the door politely and say, hey, Mr. Moses Wright. That was his grandfather's name. Mr. Moses Wright, can we talk to him for a few minutes? Like, no, that's not how that happened. Anyway, I ain't trying to go down the road of Emmett Till, child. But, so where I'm sitting as I'm listening to Cassie, I think it was fair that I can appreciate that, Melly. Melly said, I do have empathy, though. I can appreciate that. Because here's the thing, too. You can, not you, Melly, but I'm saying in general, you can feel like this wouldn't be me, but I can empathize with how it happened to her. Is that a fair way to say it? And again, I'm not talking about Melly specifically. I'm just saying in general. I think it was smart of the prosecution to say, listen, what you can't do is sit up there and act like you, from the very beginning, you were totally like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like, I think it's fair to say, listen, in the beginning, I was kind of with it. Like, yeah, in the beginning, I was kind of with it. But then it got to be too much. It got to be too freaky, maybe, for lack of a better word. Too often. And I did not feel valued in the situation because I realized I wasn't the only one. I realized you were sleeping with other women. You were abusing me. You wouldn't let me leave the house. You would take my phone when you wanted. Like, when you start adding all of those things to the bag, now the question comes down to, is the prosecution proving their case, or are they just giving us a whole bunch of salacious shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's salacious. We talking about it. We sitting here right now talking about it. But are they proving the case? Because remember, they're supposed to be proving, they're trying to prove a whole RICO enterprise. And Pam brought that up too. And I'm going to drop the link in 2 more minutes. Pam brought that up as well. Pam said that every time when they're talking to Cassie, one of the things they always ask her was, and who else was there? And who did that? And who did that? Because remember, for the racketeering charge, they have to build the case that this is a criminal enterprise. So Who came and took your phone from you? Who wouldn't allow you to leave the house? Who took you to the hotel? Who dropped you? Like, we have to build the case that this is a criminal enterprise, that Diddy was running a criminal enterprise. Now, one thing they did bring up when they brought up the ketamine, and again, I know I keep saying Pam, but this is where I got a lot of my information from today. They brought this up in Pam's chat. A lot of people who are in the health field talked about how ketamine is something that if Diddy had it, he got it illegally. Like, ketamine is just not, it's not one of those drugs. It's a very, very, very high level narcotic that you have to have prescription for. And it's one of those types of narcotics that is very closely watched. I told you guys, one of my prescriptions is a narcotic. And like, when my doctor first started prescribing it for me, I could get a 3-month supply at one time. And yeah, I can't do that anymore. Like, now, then it went down to a 7-day supply. And now they've sort of loosened it back up again. And now I can get a 30-day supply. But every time I go to refill it, my doctor has to sign off on a whole new prescription. Ain't no refills anymore. Every time it's a one and done. And when I go through those, whatever that month supply is, and my doctor files another it has a whole new prescription process. Like, I have to go to the doctor. She can't do it over the phone anymore. Like, she can't say, oh yeah, just go ahead. No. They've changed the rules. And ketamine, from my understanding, is one of those types of narcotics. So if Diddy had ketamine on that level, thank you, Yolanda. If Diddy had ketamine on that level, then, in my opinion, this is me, I'm nobody's attorney, but in my opinion, it sounds like he would have had to procure it in a way that may not necessarily be legal. But again, they have to prove that what Cassie's saying is true. Just because Cassie said it was ketamine don't mean it was ketamine. You know what I'm saying? Right. The worker said that Sean first introduced himself as an import-export businessman from I found that interesting. I'm going to drop the link, you guys. If anybody wants to come up, we'll be here for about 20 minutes. Y'all know I don't keep it long unless y'all come up and we have a conversation. So I'm going to drop the link. The panel is open. Again, you do not have to show your face. I just need to verify backstage that you're a real person. And all opinions are welcome. All opinions are welcome. We are respectful. If you're new over here, we are respectful over here. My doctor prescribed oxycodone for me a year ago, and it stayed on my dresser unopened. Let me tell you something. I was having back spasm one time, and my doctor prescribed oxycodone. I don't understand how people take oxy to get high. Now, for the people who are in extreme pain and they use oxycodone for what it's for, great. Because those back spasms were no joke. And I see you, Chanel. You can turn your camera off, baby. I see you. But people who take it for fun, but when I tell you I was hallucinating that a whole person came into my house and I couldn't get up off the couch, and I was scared because I was hallucinating that somebody was in my house walking around my house. I said, oh, I'm not taking not near another one of these. Not near another one. Hey, Chanel, welcome. Chanel, you muted, baby. Unmute yourself. Okay. There you go. What you want to, you have the floor, my love. What you want to share with us?
Well, happy Tuesday, Really B and Tribe. I am Tab the CEO. You know who I am.
What's up, Tab? How you doing, baby?
I'm good. I'm trying to get up enough nerve to start making videos for YouTube.
Okay.
You know, y'all bunch have inspired me. So what do I have to say? So let's go back to a conversation that you had yesterday. I am 43. I am a sexual abuse survivor.
Oh no.
And I'm also a nurse. I totally agreed with what you said yesterday about why were those girls in that courtroom. That's number one. At 18 years old, like you said, people feel like age makes you an adult. the things that they are explicitly talking about, I couldn't dare sit and listen to somebody talk about my father that way. Whether it's true or not, I believe it is true, but that's just traumatic in itself. Like, those girls' worlds are open up to something which I hope the people around them protected them from. But I would have had to be at home. And I know, well, one of the girls' mothers are here, but Kim, I don't see if Kim was alive where she would have said, yeah, I want them twins in the courtroom for that. Like, there's no way. And then the other thing that I wanted to say was, why are we here? Honestly, why are we here? I understand they can't get him on the rape charges, the assault charges, but just listening to everything, it's like, why are we wasting taxpayers' money? Why are we here? Like, y'all couldn't find something. And I get it. He got the money to spend, but you should have took a plea. This is more than the world ever needed to know. Because go to politics, this is just taken away from what's really going on in the world.
Okay.
He did it. No matter how we look. I'm an 80s baby. We knew back then. We knew. And even to Cassie's people having things to say about Cassie and how they were looking at picking the jury and everything. This girl was 17 to 19 years old. And if she hadn't had experiences, there is just things she not gonna know. And like you said, being young, here comes somebody with money, and here comes somebody having a career in your hand. Because back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you probably spun the block with an older man. Especially if the older man had a little bit of change and was like, because I done got car notes paid, rent paid, all kind of things back at her age. At some point, she no longer wanted what he was pushing at her. And at the minute and the point that she said, all right, I want to be out, and he started all the destructive behavior, blowing up the boyfriend's car and all the things that he did, it's like, y'all, come on. We knew what he was doing all along. I literally went back and watched Making the Band every season that he had. And it was like, it was there all along. But I'm in my early 20s. This is entertainment and fun.
Right. Hindsight is 2020, because I do the same thing. I go back and look and you be like, wait a minute, he wasn't playing. Like, he really meant this shit that he was saying.
Absolutely. I still, when Cassie dropped her lawsuit, I literally went back to watch every episode to say, okay, when Dawn started speaking, was she lying? Aubrey always been too much. But going back now and watching it, you be like, yo, we didn't see it. It was right. He's always done it clear and plain as day. But because we put certain celebrities on such a high pedestal, we just overlook everything.
Exactly. Look at Bill Cosby. They had to make up all these excuses. Oh, he was trying to buy NBC. No.
Exactly. Well, that's all I got, you guys. Thanks for letting me come up really
much. And listen, before you click off, let me say this. When it comes to doing the YouTube, let me tell you something, baby, just do it. I started off the first time I went live on my YouTube channel, baby, wasn't nobody in that chat but me. It was just me. I remember the very first video I did was when Cardi B revealed that she was pregnant on Saturday Night Live. And I did a video and I went live and I did the video live saying, basically defending Cardi, like, listen, y'all mad at her because she fell in love and decided to have a baby, yada, yada. So that lets you know how long, but baby, wasn't nobody, I was talking to myself. Okay. So you just do it. I mean, I hate to sound like Nike, but baby, just do it.
No,
and
I've been listening to you,
so we can come over there.
Scotty. Yeah, I've been listening to you, Mims, and Scotty, Jamie, Bondi, T, Ya, I haven't quite gotten into Sakina yet, and I'm so happy Josiah's back. But watching Josiah come back made me say, you know what? I got all this stuff because I have a mental health clothing brand. And I'm like, I got all this stuff. And I have so much stuff I be wanting to say. I'm going to start with pre-recorded videos, though.
Okay.
So
I did too. I started with pre-recorded. I was scared to go live. I started with pre-recorded videos as well. So listen, just do
I
it
got a
and
nice
just let us
following
know,
on
and we'll
TikTok,
support you.
and I hate
Yeah, let
going
us
live
know
on TikTok. I will. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.
You too, my love. Tracy was next. Melly, thank you for coming up, boo. I appreciate it. Tracy, oh Lord, Tracy, I know Tracy about to tear this. She about to tear this place up. Yes, my love. What you got, boo?
All I'm saying, listen, all I'm saying is throw y'all tomatoes if you must. I already know they're coming. It's fine with me. I'm just simply saying, because I went and read the tweets from, on Twitter with Interstate Press, like Interstate Press, like everybody else did. Then I went to the ones from CNN. Then I went to the ones from People, and I was shocked by what Cassie said in the way that I wasn't expecting that is what she was going to tell us. Because I was not expecting her to say, yeah, 6 months into our relationship, he asked me about a freak off, and I said yes. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to be like, yeah, girl.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to say, I did this with him because I knew if I didn't do it, someone else would. Or I just wanted to make my man happy. I was like, those were not the things I was expecting to hear from her.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting to hear,
it was smart. I think it was
didn't want to do this. Look, I was expecting to hear, I didn't want to do this. And he kind of coerced me into doing it. He made me feel bad into doing it. Is what I was more expecting to hear, or he was rough and tough and forced me to do things I didn't want to do, was kind of what I was more so expecting to hear from her. But that's not what I heard. Or based off of, and like I said, multiple people are saying the same verbiage that she used, which is where I find it interesting. Because I was like, and I understand she's still on the stand. They haven't made it all the way through. Like she still has a bunch more to testify about, because I think she only made it, a little bit. She hasn't even made it through their full relationship yet, or them leaving or anything like that. So she is just at the beginning of their relationship.
At one point, she did get emotional, and they had to stop at one point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, wait a minute. Chanel said ketamine is a controlled substance because it's a tranquilizer specifically for horses. He did not get it legally. There you go. Well, that's what I heard too. If you got it, it wasn't legal. That's what I heard too.
Yes, absolutely. Because that's what took Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Ketamine. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and I believe those people got charged. The people that was
they did.
Yeah.
They definitely did. So
Tracy, I got a job for you though. I'm about to text it. I'm about to text it to you right now. Okay. Let me know if you can find it. If you can find it, we're going back live in a little bit. If Tracy can find what I'm asking her to find, I'm about to send it now.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, Tracy be taking these. She be taking these as challenges.
Listen, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm not a paralegal, but I be trying. Okay, I'm not a paralegal, but I be trying. It take me a little while to find it, but I be looking. Take me a little to find, but so I think I was more shocked and surprised to hear her just say like, no, I didn't want to lose him, or I did it because I wanted to. Like, I was a little more than there. And I was like, huh. Like, I understand that what the there's things that you can't say on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and X.
Right.
But the comment of saying, I did this because I didn't want to lose him to someone else. I knew if I didn't do it, someone else would. Or the statement of, I just wanted to make my man happy, so I did it, is where I'm like, wait a minute, girl, I was not expecting these words to come
Yeah.
from you. And
And I'm gonna be
because I
honest with you. I have
wasn't expecting
friends, if I'm being honest, I have friends who have engaged in threesomes and gone to sex parties and sex clubs with their man because that's what their man wanted to do it. And they were like, oh, well, you know, it's a fantasy. And then it got to be a point where it was like, wait a minute, we doing this all the time. Hold up. And yes, you have at that point you can say, okay, I did it for you in that moment because I wanted to do this with you. And maybe I was even a little curious, but I don't want to do it anymore, you know? And if at that point it changed from she was voluntarily participating to I was being made to participate, there's the difference. Yep. And that's why I think it was smart of them to say, hey, I wanted to do it at first, and then that changed. You know,
so we haven't gotten to the then that changed part. So we only I can only go by the first part of it.
No, she talked about it today. No, she said no, she did. She got into it today.
Where?
She said that she didn't want to do it anymore, but she did talk about how she changed her mind and then she said she backpedaled or something like that.
Yeah.
But then she also talked about how they, you know, there were times when he would take her phone. There were times when he wouldn't let her leave. And, you know, she did talk about that part.
Yeah. So there was that back and forth of, I didn't want to do it, but I did it, but I didn't want to. So yes, you're correct. So my thing is, I wonder if this is how Diddy's, I know this ain't got nothing to do with her right now, but if this is kind of how Diddy and Carisha kind of started, where she was open to things, she was willing to do things, so it kind of just worked out for them both, because they were both mutually beneficial to what they wanted, and it wasn't so much of a, I'm getting you to do some of the things that you don't like to do, you know, right? Because she on Carisha Please talked about how she likes the yellow bodily fluids, and I was like, oh wait, girl, wait a minute. And you know, so she openly talks about that piece of her life, and I'm like, wait, I was like, so I wonder if some of the things that he learned after Cassie was, find people who are a little more in line with the life and lifestyle of what I want, you know. And so that's why things are a little different now. But
but his MO was still the same. Carisha is a young girl, hungry for all the things that he could offer her. So hold on, let Melly jump in on this. Melly, thank you for your patience, my love. What you want to add, boo?
I just wanted to add what I was saying about Cassie. I do have 100% empathy, and I'm happy that she's telling the truth because that's how it starts. I think by the time these relationships get to us, we just see like the outright abuse and not the coercion, the manipulation, the slowly into it. And women don't talk about it even when they get out because they feel shamed. And it's like that's how it happens. And when you give up ground, you give an inch, they're gonna take a yard. Her signing that 10 album deal, he knew he could do whatever. Who signs a 10 album deal? Most artists don't even have 10 albums. So he knew how desperate she was and what she was willing. And her family didn't say, no, you can make it a different way. You don't have to sign your life away. So we need to have these conversations and be honest. And even though I said not me, I'm from Harlem. I'm the same age as Cassie. I went to the parties. They literally would just pick you up on 125th Street. And some of my friends ended up in that lifestyle. But I always knew who I was, but I had a strong family who told me who I was. So even though I played on that side, I never went too far. I also didn't do the drugs. Because once you do that, your inhibitions go away.
That adds an element. The drugs add an element. Yeah.
It's a big element, and I just wish more people would be honest. And that whole doing anything to please your man needs to stop. It's about you. He should be pleasing you, not anything to please him. If you're not with it, don't do it. The people, there's other ways. So that's all I wanted to say.
I appreciate it. And listen, let me say this too. I think that what you're saying is fair because the one thing we know about manipulators and predators is that there's something that they can sense in people that don't have a strong sense of who they are, it's something they sense. So they probably skipped right over you because they were like, oh nah, she ain't going. You know what I mean? So that adds an element as well, because we like you said, I've had friends who fell into certain things and we were at the same places doing the same things. And you're right. So yeah,
I've absolutely had men tell me, you too hard, never mind. It's too much. Why put all that effort in to try to manipulate me when somebody could be easily manipulated?
Exactly. When somebody right down the street. And we love your accent.
Thank you. I've been in DC since
New York
98.
is probably one of my New York accents are probably one of my favorite accents. I love y'all's accent. I love it, love it, love it. Nay said Diddy is walking. The prosecution is making fatal mistakes. 1, Cassie is the star witness. He is not on trial for abuse. 2, the jury not being sequestered. Red flag. They offered him a plea deal. Okay, Nay, I hear you, boo. I hear you. And I think a lot of people feel that way. What the hell is this? I'm sorry. I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel like, listen, they don't think Diddy going nowhere. You know, I don't know. I think that I'm gonna wait and see how the rest of this plays out, because I find it interesting. If Cassie is their star witness, I ain't go to nobody's law school. I ain't go to nobody. But is that where they start? Is that usually where they start? Andrea said a detailed review actually went into how she felt stuck and relied on the drugs to help her zone out. She mentioned how nothing made him stop. Vomiting, crying, begging, unconsciousness, nothing. Yeah, I did. I heard that about the vomiting part, that the drugs would sometimes make her vomit, and he didn't give a damn about that either. So Diddy's assistant will testify. I think the chef is supposed to testify as well. But I do agree that he is not on trial for being an abuser. He's not. He is on trial for RICO, for trafficking, and for drugs, right? I don't even remember all the charges now.
Yep. So what?
But I have a question. Is that, and maybe because it's not a federal charge, I have a question. Why aren't they charging him with DV? That seems like a slam dunk.
Statute of limitation.
Okay, that makes sense. Got it. Okay, now you say it.
And I will be the first one to say
that is true. Her pregnancy might be the reason why she went first. Thank you, Lauren. That's true, because Cassie is pregnant. They said she's 8.5 months pregnant. So
she real. Yeah. Do you think that's why Diddy asked for the 2 months?
And remember, they said this might be an 8-week long trial, so there's definitely more to come. But go ahead, Tracy.
Do you think this is why Diddy asked for the 2-month extension?
I do.
Cassie is like super pregnant.
I think they wanted her to have that baby. I don't think that they wanted her in court pregnant, because even though this was years ago, it's a visual. And especially for the men. See, here's the thing, and I hate to say it like this, men are a lot more empathetic when it comes to these situations than women are, generally speaking. I'm not saying that as a rule. I'm saying generally speaking. So you have those older men sitting on that, and you see this pregnant woman walking in, and then you watch that video of this same pregnant woman sitting in front of you, getting her ass beat, and then telling the stories that she told today. I understand that that's not why he's on trial. However, once we feel a certain way about something, we feel a certain way about something.
Mm-hmm. So I will say this. I don't see the RICO in the manner that I was thinking I was going to see it. I don't see the trafficking in the way I was thinking I was going to see it right now so far. And I understand like she hasn't made it through like her full testimony and all of that, but because I see the just the abuse, just the foul way he did her and treated her, it's like, sir, I know that's not what your charges are, but I feel like you're just gonna be guilty just because of just the way you did her. I feel like it's gonna be one of those where it's, am I getting you for what your charges are? No, not really, but it don't matter because you just gotta go, because that's just how I feel, like based on what we have right now, and that could change.
Right all day. Hey, boo.
Hey, you. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hi, Tracy and everybody else in the chat. I just have a quick thing to say regarding Cassie's testimony. In my opinion, I believe her testimony is helping to lay the foundation for the trafficking because he was making her do all of the logistics and making it happen, not necessarily he was the one making the calls. Like she also mentioned how she would get the money to pay these people essentially from him or someone who worked for him. So by her saying all the abuse and not wanting to and telling him she didn't, and knowing that there would be a physical consequence to her saying no or even mentioning she didn't want to do it, because essentially if he's not the one, if he's not the one actually making the calls, if he's not the one paying the people, if he's not the one to interact with the transactions other than, pleasing himself during or after, then he can't be held responsible. Does that make sense, Tracy? Or do you think I'm just reaching?
Oh no, it makes perfect sense. It definitely makes sense. It definitely makes sense when it comes to kind of, even when you're kind of looking at it and listening to everything else. It was like, this other person, I had this other person doing this, they had this other person doing that, and all of those kind of things. So I can definitely see where, that part is coming from. I think how like, and I think there's no good way to say what I'm thinking. I guess I was just, you know what? And realistically, she was really talking about the beginning part of their relationship. And it makes sense at the beginning part of their relationship for things to not be as bad. So I wonder if more so towards the tail end, the things, because I think for me, I always start at the beginning, right? So I'm like, if you said, oh, like I wanted to do this because I didn't want to lose him, and then we went and did this, and then we took all these things and we did all this, and then, oh my gosh, all of this. I'm like, but the start of the sentence was, I did this because I didn't want to lose, and then all these other things happened. But the initial intention of it was, I chose to do it, right? But true, all these other bad, horrible, terrible things happen and everything else. And I think that's a problem with me is I'm like, no, I always start at the beginning. Like, this is what you said. And then from there, we went to these things, and this is where those other things are, right? And I think that's kind of where I get stuck at in my logical brain of thinking of things. And really I'm looking for it. So, I think that's where it is. But no, when you say the racketeering, like he had these other people doing it, like, yes, yeah, I can, because he insulated himself to not be the person to have his name on the things or have his face on the things or be the one, actually making any transactions. So, he insulated himself so he wouldn't have to be the person doing it, although it was technically him pulling the strings. So yeah, yes, when you say it like that, I can see it better than where I was.
What do you think, B?
I'm gonna be honest and say I really feel like it's early. She's really only the second and third person to testify. I think they probably wanted to make her later, but I do think because of her pregnancy, they had to push it up. I think they absolutely are planning to have people to testify to trafficking, maybe even to the drugs. I don't know, but I don't know. It'll be interesting because right now it does seem that they're focused on the salaciousness of it, which it's disgusting and it's nasty and it's this and it's that. But is this what y'all charged him with? So I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're about to wrap this up though, because I'm literally going to come back in like 10 minutes. We're gonna do another quick video in like 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna chill out. But thank y'all for coming up. Tracy. Thank you for coming up. And Ray Ray also has a channel. Y'all make sure y'all are subscribed and following Ray Ray all day over on the YouTube. And give me a minute to reset and set it up. And I'm going to be back in like 10 minutes. Okay? All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.